Welcome to the Sushi Swap Onsen AMA, where we bring on projects that have partnered to the Onsen program and give them a platform to reach a larger audience. Today we're here with Erik, Willy, and John from ShapeShift. Thanks for joining us, guys.
Yeah, thanks for having us. Excited to be here.
Sweet. Yeah, I'll just warm things up here with a few questions, get things rolling, and we can open it up to the audience as we go along. So there's the AMA text questions, which I advise if you can have that open or message some things there if you'd like to, if you don't want to come up on stage. Otherwise, please raise your hand as we get going here, and maybe 10-15 minutes into the call, we'll get you up on stage and you can ask your questions. So thank you guys for coming on today, and maybe just let's start off with a quick intro. Introduce yourselves here, background, and how you what your current involvement is here with ShapeShift.
Start us off, Erik.
Hey everyone, glad to be here. My name is Erik Voorhees, founder and CEO of ShapeShift, the entity. I will not be CEO of the ShapeShift project for much longer, a few more months likely. And I've been in the Bitcoin world since May of 2011, back when it was just Bitcoin, and have been thrilled to see it branching out into this incredible tapestry of decentralization that we find ourselves in front of now. We're very excited to talk to you all because Sushi Swap is I would say part of the lineage of decentralized exchange that so many people have been struggling to achieve. It's an incredibly important function to move decentralization off just the coin and asset layer and into the actual exchange and trading layer. So you guys are doing God's work, and I appreciate it. And thanks for having me on the stage here.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Erik. Willy or John?
Hey everybody, my name's Willy. Thanks for having us. Super glad to be here. I've been a fan and user of Sushi Swap since you guys launched. I am currently principal product manager at the ShapeShift entity, and also will only be employed by ShapeShift for a few more months, like all other current ShapeShift employees. But I will be transitioning to be the head of decentralization at the ShapeShift Foundation, or the Fox Foundation.
Nice.
Is actually what we're going to call it once it's created. It is not yet established. Yeah, basically my mission and responsibility there will be to achieve the full decentralization of ShapeShift. So I will be successful in that position when I can fire myself and we can dissolve the foundation and transition full control of the whole ShapeShift ecosystem to Fox token holders.
Beautiful. And John?
Howdy. I'm John, ShapeShift, also co-founder with Erik, and current ShapeShift Chief Product Officer. I've been working on this project for a bit over 7 years now, and like Erik, I will not be Chief Product Officer, will not have any formal position with the DAO, but I'm looking forward to being, an interested community member and helping drive things forward, and just really excited to be here. And like Willy, been a big fan of Sushi Swap and user since it launched, and ever since we integrated decentralized trading into ShapeShift, as I'm sure we'll talk about today. It's been awesome to have our system connect and be sending volume that way and just having that use case. So really excited to be here. Thanks.
Yeah, awesome. Beautiful. Thank you very much. ShapeShift dates all the way back to 2014. Like, walk us through the inception of this, developments that have taken place, and leading us up to where we are today here with like the decentralization and DAO creation.
I'll take this one. Also, sorry if you hear my wife laughing in the background. We are in a car outside a clinic just getting a rapid COVID test, and in like 10 seconds before I started talking, I had the swab up my nose, and she's laughing at me trying to do an important call. So sorry if you hear her laughing. ShapeShift's history has been, I don't know if like the dog life rule applies, where like every year is 7 years, but it seems to have been quite a long-standing project at this point. We started in early 2014, sort of in the wake of the Mt. Gox collapse, where that was like the 90% of all the trading and in the crypto world was on Mt. Gox back then, and everyone saw how dangerous it was to have these centralized pools of money run by people, with all the errors they can make and all the hacks that can be done. So ShapeShift was really like an expression of that problem, basically trying to solve this custody issue. And when we started, it was a way to convert one digital asset like Bitcoin into another digital asset like Litecoin, and to do that without custody. So a user would send an asset to us, and we would send an asset to the user, sort of all at the same time. And that was our model up until 2018. And by then, the ecosystem had gotten very large. ShapeShift had grown. We were over 100 people. And we came to the unfortunate conclusion that we would probably be treated as a money service business, as a financial institution, and that we would need to impose KYC and financial surveillance on all of our users. And so obviously we were ethically opposed to that. Our customers were very upset about that, as were we. And from 2018 up through 2020, we basically had to operate like a financial institution. We fortunately found our way out of that mess by watching what other people in the ecosystem were doing and building these DEXs. And we ended up just integrating DEXs into the ShapeShift interface. And so users now can trade through ShapeShift with no added fees, and all the trades are going through various DEXs, Sushi Swap being one. And we've been able to remove KYC and go back to, what we care about, which is protecting users both in not holding funds and in not holding their information. So that's been our quick story. And just a couple months ago, we announced that we were taking this, fully in the direction of decentralization, and we're actually going to dismantle the entire entity, which is what we are in the process of doing. And in parallel, the ShapeShift DAO, a decentralized organization oriented around the platform itself, is emerging. So that's our quick history. I'll stop there.
Yeah, beautiful. And like that's a great way to segue into like discussing kind of the importance of decentralization, which we've kind of touched on a little bit here, with Mt. Gox and that part, but also like, with DAOs and how like transitioning to that and kind of the future of what those can do and what they can offer and what you see in, in the power of DAOs and just ultimately what the future is going to bring for them. Yeah, if you don't mind just shedding some light on that.
Yeah, I can speak to that, and I'm sure we've all got some strong feelings there. But I'm personally a big fan of DAOs. I've had the pleasure of working with Gibbet as well for over a year and a half now, and so I got to learn a lot and see firsthand the power of that a decentralized community can have. And also, I think we've all recognized that just over the past year and a half, some of the top projects that have emerged that are really having the biggest impact have been DAOs themselves. So I think we really believed that the best way to achieve the vision of ShapeShift was to decentralize our organization and to put the power in the hands of the token holders, or amazing community that we built over the past 7 years, and that is continuing to grow at an even faster rate now that we've opened it up. And all the conversations that we used to have behind closed doors, we're now having publicly, transparently, and in collaboration with the community. So I think we definitely see this as the trend in the future of work. And I think a lot of people on the call probably know how amazing it is to work for a DAO compared to working for a traditional corporation. I think once you go DAO, it's pretty unlikely that you're ever going to go back. I certainly never want to work for a corporation or be a CEO again. I much prefer just to work with these communities, building cool shit online with your internet friends. So definitely excited about the potential just to get more work done in collaboration with the community. Also really attracted to, the idea that this, our vision, which is to be the interface, the multi-chain interface, connecting users to this whole decentralized universe and all these protocols across multiple chains. In order to achieve that, and we'll be able to do that much better as a decentralized organization and as a decentralized product, right? So the new ShapeShift that we're building is open source and has no dependencies on a centralized backend. And that's really important. And we've seen evidence of how important that is recently when Uniswap had to delist some assets from their own interface. In order for this decentralized universe that we all believe in to really be disruptive and become the future of finance, these interfaces do need to be decentralized and censorship resistant and unstoppable. And it also, as you guys know, it enables the projects to move very quickly and to not have to get bogged down by a lot of the bureaucracy and regulatory concerns that keep centralized corporations held back. So I'll stop there. There's more that I'm excited about, but I think I've said enough now, and I'll pass it over to John and Erik if they have anything to add.
I just wanted to mention there was some real great words there, some real keyword takeaways that I really liked there. Just using censorship resistance and continuous use of decentralization and just some keyword in bureaucracy, even like all of those words there. They're really really like to hear that, because those are key things that people, I think, need to understand a little bit more and really focus on, because those are important. Those are important. But please take it away, John.
Yeah, I was just going to add, what Willy said was obviously great and pretty much agree with all that. But ShapeShift has an interesting history in regards to DAOs, because ShapeShift was one of the main funding mechanisms for the creation of the original DAO that, of course, blew up in spectacular fashion and then led to the ETH and ETC fork. And so I've gone from being super interested when that first happened to becoming skeptical of DAOs for a period of time, to now coming full circle back to really, really thinking that these things are the future, and that the tooling and the maturation of the ecosystem has really put DAOs in a place where I think it's one of the most important innovations in the entire crypto space. And I've even said some places I think it might be the most important innovation in like human coordination in maybe millennia, certainly in centuries in my opinion, but maybe millennia. We'll have to see how that plays out over the next few decades. But as a result, I'm just super excited for ShapeShift to move into this world and be able to organize and collaborate with other DAOs. Because I think one of the cool things about DAOs is I think, unlike kind of classic corporate culture, while there is certainly competition among DAOs, I think it promotes much more of a world of positive sum outcomes where DAOs collaborate and help each other's ecosystems grow and basically create wealth and opportunity for everyone. That doesn't really exist in a lot of traditional financial systems, or not in the same way. So I'm really excited to see that play out. We're already seeing it in the early days of ShapeShift and our ability to coordinate and collaborate with communities like the Sushi Swap DAO. So yeah, I don't know. I'm just really excited for that, and really think it's a huge change in structure and how humans globally will be able to coordinate in ways that they couldn't before.
Very well.
Real quick, riffing on that for a second. In the crypto world, most of the advancements or innovations are at this technical layer, right? Like some new blockchain or some new way to do encryption, or AMMs themselves being a technical accomplishment. DAOs, I think, represent perhaps the most important social innovation that has come from blockchains, and these systems are only at most half tech. They're half people and half tech. And so now that side, the social side, has been re-architected to have this new flexible organizational format, it is as big a deal or more than any of the technical advancements on the other side.
Yeah, that's very well said. Very well said. And you guys have got so many hot words and key phrases there that I'm going to be so thankful to take out of here. Even like the human coordination, I really like that part of it. Hearing positive sum, between collaboration of DAOs, and we're starting to see that. I mean, I'm seeing that regularly here. We've got DAOs reaching out to one another. I was actually just in a call recently here with a bunch of others today and then yesterday. So I'm really excited to push forward with this, because it does, and then finally the last one here that you really liked, it really does tie into social innovation. And it's, this is really incredible stuff here. Okay, well, let's maybe get into some of the technical side of stuff here too, with or just like, how do the ShapeShifts work? How does it work? What do we got for assets that are supported? And maybe we can kind of, talk a little bit about how AMMs work and versus, how ShapeShift works, or, now I guess the new implementations of everything.
Take it, John?
Yeah, for sure. So traditionally, the way ShapeShift worked, pre kind of plugging into DEXs was we were the counterparty to all trades, meaning that like if you use ShapeShift back in 2015, 2016 to buy some ETH or something, you would send us your Bitcoin, we would then immediately send you some ETH, and you would only need to trust us, for a few fractions of a second. But there was still kind of an element of trust involved. We kind of tried to pioneer this idea of non-custodial exchange. And I know a lot of other people have riffed off of that, including the AMM model itself. But then, as we ran into regulatory issues around that, because we were the counterparty and we saw things like Uniswap and Sushi Swap start taking off, we became really inspired by these AMM models that really solved this liquidity problem of pooling, user liquidity and letting people trade directly with these smart contracts, where there really was no custody because it all happened in the space of, a single transaction. So as of the beginning of this year, we kind of ripped out the guts of our old trading model. And now if you go to ShapeShift today, either through our web app or our mobile app, what's actually happening is we are routing your trade directly through whichever DEX, whether it's Uniswap or Sushi Swap or Curve, depending on the type of trade you're doing, et cetera, that has the best pricing and liquidity at that time. So really, ShapeShift has evolved to become an interface that plugs directly into these DEXs. And then in April of this year, we were also one of the first kind of companies and interfaces to integrate ThorChain. And ThorChain also allows for the native swap of assets across chains. So it's not actually enabled today because ThorChain's been offline for a few issues, but I think it's supposed to be coming back online over the coming weeks. So if you go to ShapeShift and you trade your Bitcoin for ETH or something like that, that gets routed through ThorChain, which is effectively a cross-chain AMM, very similar to Uniswap or Sushi Swap, but it's doing it natively cross chains. So our kind of goal moving forward is to integrate any of these protocols and just offer the best pricing and as many assets as possible for people to trade between. And that's really where we see this going, is plugging in, a number of different DEXs and offering the best liquidity and best trading across any sort of asset you can imagine.
Yeah, beautiful, beautiful. So in this model, like I could come and bring my Bitcoin and deposit it, or come into ShapeShift with it, and through the routing of ThorChain as well, and what you guys have, like I would be able to then, for example, I could then get like Matic on Polygon. Could that all happen in?
Depending on if it's listed on ThorChain. So ThorChain is a protocol, and it's open. It's a decentralized organization. So as long as I don't think Polygon is supported yet, but it certainly could be. If you guys are familiar with the exploits that caused ThorChain to halt the network, it was related to their ETH and ERC20 integration. So that's kind of the riskier side, and probably will be one of the later pairs to be supported once again on ThorChain. But yeah, if Polygon was supported, then you would be able to do that. And when they come back with ETH and ERC20s, yeah, you could also, it would enable, if Sushi were to advocate for a pool on ThorChain, and the community were to implement it, then you'd be able to trade Bitcoin directly for Sushi through ShapeShift with no added fees.
Actually, I think Sushi was on there pretty early. It was one of the earlier
ERC20s. It was one of the first ERC20s they added, like Erik just said. So you actually, when it was enabled, it'll have to get re-enabled now, you could trade Bitcoin directly for Sushi or Sushi directly for Bitcoin, which is super cool. And to your point, Tinkle, I do know that it's on the ThorChain roadmap to eventually integrate some L2s, basically like in the ThorChain world, that's basically just a separate chain. So you would then be able to trade, Matic directly for ETH or directly for Bitcoin or Sushi, and that will be super cool. That's probably at least a number of months away, but ThorChain is itself, kind of a DAO and decentralized community. So I know we're always collaborating with them and other DAOs, and certainly I hope to see more and more of those chains that people want get added and to add to that ecosystem.
Yeah, absolutely. That's going to be super cool to blend and migrate all of these. This whole multi-chain kind of, the future is multi-chain, it seems, and it's really cool to see all of this happening and unfolding. Yeah. Okay. Well, let's talk about the Fox airdrop. That was a pretty exciting time for everyone. I'm sure it was really exciting for you guys as well. But yeah, maybe just talk about like the airdrop, kind of how the liquidity mining program's working, and then we can even talk about tokenomics and some other things there as well.
You want to take that, Willy?
Sure. Yeah, so we were the airdrop happened on July 14th, and it was the largest airdrop in terms of the number of eligible addresses. So we airdropped 34% of our token supply of Fox, so 340 million Fox tokens, to over 1 million eligible addresses. This was the majority of these. This was about, I think, 950,000 of these addresses were past ShapeShift users. So if you've ever used ShapeShift to trade any E3 or C20 pair, or if you had connected your wallet to ShapeShift web or mobile, then you would have been eligible. Also, we did an airdrop to 13 DAO communities. So in Sushi Swap was one of them. So the criteria for the first airdrop was that you needed to hold at least $1,500 worth of Sushi tokens as of a block snapshot on June 9th. And I'm sure as many of you guys are probably thinking right now, something we quickly realized, and actually we knew before we did the airdrop that this could potentially be an issue, but as you guys can imagine, when you're getting ready to launch a DAO and do an airdrop, we were juggling, dozens and dozens of things and had a whole timeline. So we consciously knew that anyone who was providing liquidity or staking their tokens would not be included in that initial airdrop. And it wasn't our intention to do that, but just one of the things that, we weren't able to prioritize on top of all the other stuff we were focused on doing. And one of the ways we justified not prioritizing it was knowing that we'd be able to have a community proposal, a governance proposal to do a follow-up airdrop to reward Fox to anybody as part of those governance communities whose tokens were providing liquidity during that snapshot or were staked in a governance contract. So super happy to announce that yesterday that proposal passed, and we're going to be doing a follow-up, what we're calling fair drop. And so any Sushi token holders that on June 9th, if you were providing liquidity to the top two Sushi pools by TVL, or if your Sushi was staked, you will likely be eligible for this airdrop. It was anyone the amount of staking was any amount. For the liquidity pool, it had to be at least $1,500 worth of LP tokens. So yeah, hopefully many of you guys in the audience, especially those that if you weren't eligible for that first airdrop, we'll have some Fox tokens waiting for you soon. Our goal is to have this live within the next week.
Yeah, wow, that's incredible. I know that was a disappointment for a lot of ex-Sushi holders, but redemption is here. That'll make our community happy. So thank you very, very much for that. And yeah, it's super cool to hear that it's like such a widespread distribution of the airdrop. That just also adds to the whole, the decentralized, the decentralized part of all of this. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'll just plug on that real fast that, anyone who ever used ShapeShift, like Willy said, or if you were a Sushi holder, or pretty soon next week an ex-Sushi holder, and or if you held any of these other DAO tokens, it's really worth, at least for the next 30 days, while it's 30 plus days while the airdrop is still active. Go to fox.airdrop or fox.shapeshift.com and plug in whatever ETH addresses you have. You might be surprised at your eligibility, and it's definitely worth claiming those tokens if you can.
Yeah, awesome. Perfect. Okay. Yeah, and then as far as the Fox token itself, and kind of talk about the tokenomics and like the voting structure, and just kind of what its plans and futures are, or what the future is for it.
Yeah, so Fox first and foremost is now a governance token for the DAO. So we have a Gnosis safe treasury and snapshot voting. If you have Fox tokens, you can both create a proposal and vote on proposals to allocate Fox from that treasury to initiatives. And obviously the intention for everyone's self-interest is to increase the overall value of that treasury. Before the announcement, Fox also had some really strong utilities built in. So right now, if you go and you do trades through any of the DEXs integrated with ShapeShift, not only are there no added fees, but you can also earn Fox tokens on top of each trade. Those Fox tokens too, if you hold Fox, you can have your gas fees reimbursed up to 100%, depending on how much Fox you hold in Fox. And additionally, if you hold Fox, whenever a user trades on ShapeShift, another user wins USDC if their wallet is registered with ShapeShift. And the more Fox you have, the better your odds are of winning what we call a rainfall reward. So those are some of the main utilities. And as far as the tokenomics goes, basically what we're really excited about is something that's, especially it's another one of the reasons that we're excited about DAOs is the ability to create these this open source software that really is a public good. And so ShapeShift right now, it's ultimately up to token holders, but right now ShapeShift is not adding any fees on top of any of these protocols. But many protocols and a growing number of DeFi protocols and just other crypto services offer affiliate revenue programs. So for an interface like ShapeShift, where we have hundreds of thousands of monthly active users who hold a lot of crypto, there's a lot of interest from DeFi protocols to get demand and volume from our users. So we're really interested in these affiliate revenue opportunities where we can basically enable users to access all of these protocols across multiple chains with an open source decentralized interface that's not adding any fees. And whenever they use these apps, Yearn is an example of one that offers this affiliate revenue program, and that we're really excited to integrate so that our users can earn yield on their ERC20 tokens. They'll be able to earn yield in a way that doesn't cost have any added fees, and it'll be the DAO can generate revenues from this activity. And so the cool thing is that we can actually incentivize users to use these protocols that do affiliate revenue deals with us by offering additional Fox rewards on top. And that means we can make ShapeShift, the best interface to use Yearn, even better than going directly to Yearn's interface. And we can integrate all these awesome protocols into this nice open source decentralized interface, and then incentivize users to use the protocols with affiliate revenues with Fox. And then when you earn Fox, you're also earning tokens that control a treasury that's growing based on your activity. So this is kind of one of the core utilities and tokenomics for Fox. But ultimately, the community is already having ideas for other ways we can add utility. I think the other area that I'm really excited about in terms of Fox tokenomics that's still in the early stages of being explored is basically, if you guys are familiar with the ThorChain model, is a decentralized backend. So in order for this interface to be decentralized, we need to have what we're envisioning is a decentralized network where anyone can basically opt in and stake some Fox and run some nodes and basically provide the blockchain data that users need to be able to see their transaction history and their balances and use ShapeShift. And instead of doing that from like Infura or a centralized provider, basically creating this network that's a decentralized infrastructure for any app, not just the ShapeShift interface, but really any dApp that wants to that needs blockchain data but doesn't want to rely on centralized infra can plug into this. And Fox would be the token that basically enables this network. And for the token, that validators would basically have to bond to be eligible to provide this data and earn fees. The fees that dApps and interfaces would pay would be in Fox tokens. And if one of these validators were to misbehave, then Fox is the token that they would be slashed. So I think that's a really solid foundation for Fox tokenomics, but also really excited to see that just 2 months into this, we're already getting some pretty cool ideas from the community for other ways that we can add utility.
Nice. Yeah, I'm glad to hear that you're getting this kind of interaction and engagement with this, and even going back to the affiliate referral program, likely something that we'd be happy to look at here at Sushi, and even and maybe like kind of as we were discussing before here, let's even bring it into the community and have it come through as a as a proposal and run it through that way. That might be an interesting way of doing it too. So I think there's definitely positivity around that, and you guys are doing great stuff over there. So yeah, that should be cool. Yeah, and then as far as like on, actually, if there's anybody that has questions, like please put your hand up. We'll get you up on stage. The little hand button down at the bottom. Click that, and we'll get you up here. You can ask some questions, and there has been a few things that have come through on the AMA text questions, but please, anything you want, ask in there. Looks like John has been doing a great job of responding with several links, so some good references there afterwards or while we're going through things. We do have a hand that's just come up. Who have we got here? Chiorda? Hey.
Hi guys, how's it going?
Really great. Go ahead.
Cool. I just wanted to, for all the newbies out there, myself included, could you do a quick paragraph explanation as if we were all 5 years old of what ShapeShift is and what it does? Thank you.
I'll take it. So, classic ShapeShift, what people know us as, was an exchange. And still, if you ask a lot of people in crypto, what is ShapeShift, they would say, oh, it's an exchange. That was true up until this year. This year we integrated other DEXs into ShapeShift. So, that begs the question, okay, well, what is ShapeShift now? ShapeShift now is best described as an open source interface to all the leading blockchains, which always maintains fidelity to self-custody and now community ownership. So think of it like the interface through which you access your digital assets, regardless of which chain they're on, and through which you access multiple protocols. Some of these are trading protocols. Obviously, staking or lending protocols can be built into that, but all done in one interface that is both multi-chain and open source. Those are key components of what we're driving toward now. So that's the quick explanation.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
All right, thank you very much. We've got someone else here. Adrian, if you see the come up onto stage, look up at the top of your screen. There's maybe a green button up there that says "Come to the top" or "Come on." Should be a button there somewhere to come on up on stage. There you are. Just unmute yourself, and then we'll get you to ask your question. The mute button's down at the bottom. There's a little microphone. Just click on that. It should unmute you. All right, Adrian. Yeah, just a
few words.
Like I say, just the mute button. We can't hear you, Adrian. If you are talking right now, you'll just have to hit the mute button to unmute yourself, and then we can get you up here. Otherwise, maybe we'll wait. We can answer some other stuff here before till you get that figured out, Matt.
Yeah, he just said in the text chat it's not unmuting for him for some reason, so we can move on.
Oh, okay. There it is. All right. Cool. Yeah, and then as far as like, I guess like with the Onsen program here with you guys and the Fox token on Polygon. Yeah, let's if you don't mind, just like kind of we'll just talk about that for a little bit here. You guys are incentivized there over on Polygon on Sushi.
So, do you want to take it?
Yeah, I'll happy to hop in on that. So yeah, just man, when was it? Was it last week, or I guess just a little bit over a week ago? A week from last Friday, Sushi launched us on the Onsen program for the Fox token on Polygon. So right now you can go onto Polygon and you can add to the Fox Wheat pool on there, and you'll get both Sushi and Matic rewards, which is pretty awesome. I think it's pretty quickly become our second largest liquidity pool outside of just the Uniswap pool, and it's growing. So that's a really awesome collaboration we're doing with Sushi to basically earn some Sushi and Matic rewards and help add to the Fox liquidity ecosystem.
Yeah, that's cool having dual rewards. I know a lot of people are very pleased about that, and that's great stuff. That's great stuff. And then as far as like
worth adding to that pool is also on a layer 2, obviously. So for far faster and cheaper transactions, that would be the ideal pool for anyone.
Yeah, absolutely. Good point.
Also, I think this will help too for people who are still trying to wrap their head around what ShapeShift can do. Is something that I cannot wait for is to enable users not only to provide liquidity to Sushi Swap and use the other awesome DeFi services you guys continue to launch on all the different networks, but also helping users like bridge between these networks all in one interface. So right now, anyone who's used Sushi on Polygon knows you have to go to some separate app to do a bridge, and then you have to go to Sushi Swap and switch networks and stuff. And it's definitely not, for us degens, we're able to figure it out, right? But for the masses, there's a lot of room for improvement. So something I'm really excited about is for ShapeShift to be this one interface where we can help users easily bridge between these different networks through bridging protocols, and then access all the awesome DeFi protocols across these chains. And yeah, really grateful that Sushi added us to the Onsen menu for Polygon. That was awesome. And just, excited for ways that we can help provide value back to you guys.
Yeah, and on that, so with the vision towards like your interaction of or implementation, I guess, of Sushi, ShapeShift in with Sushi Swap, like where do you see that going, or how do you see that kind of like unveiling? And moving forward and going into the future with this and with these two protocols or DAOs, I guess.
Yeah. So, right before the DAO announcement, one of the features we built into our mobile app was the ability to provide liquidity to the Fox and ETH pool on Uniswap. And if you guys, I think it's the best experience for providing liquidity. And we have this really nice guide that we, went through multiple rounds of user testing with users who have no DeFi experience, explaining what the heck does it mean to provide liquidity and deposit stuff into a farm. And we've gotten really good feedback on that. So that is in our, our old centralized closed source version of the app. Now we are actively making really good progress on building this new open source app. And basically, we will be integrating, and it's not just us, it's open source, right? So anyone can come and integrate this, but the vision is basically to be this one interface that's open source and supports a growing number of the top blockchains, and supports the top protocols on each of these chains, as well as bridges between these chains. So I kind of forgot the question, but I hope that answered it. If not, apologies.
Yeah, no, just talking about the, what we can kind of look forward to with the implementations of, of whether it's, our protocol or wherever, but, with Sushi Swap and ShapeShift and just all the interactions and engagement that can happen with these two protocols. So, I think that covers a good chunk of it. John, you've got something to add?
Yeah, just that we're really open to additional ideas around this, especially that come from the Sushi Swap community. Would welcome anyone to join in the ShapeShift Discord and get involved in our governance structure, or vice versa. We can get involved in yours, but to find various ways to collaborate. Kind of what I was talking about earlier. I really think the Fox community is a very friendly one, and we are looking for positive sum opportunities wherever we go. So I would love to see, for example, as things move forward in the coming weeks and months, for Fox to be even more integrated into some of the Sushi protocols, especially on something like Kashi for lending would be super cool. So, I know that requires something like a chain link price feed, I think, today, and we don't have that yet, but hopefully that will get solved at some point in the future. And various ways that we can interact and for the two communities to collaborate are things that I think our community is super interested in. So look forward to seeing how that goes.
Yeah, absolutely. No, that's great to hear. Yeah, like positive sum here for another one of those hot words. Positive sum for both communities and creating proposals to an engagement with governance. This is love every bit of it. Love every bit of it.
Thanks for reminding me the question too. So to plant some seeds for ideas too for how this could look is, I appreciate you mentioning that, you guys could be open to this affiliate revenue opportunity, and that I love that if we were to do this, it could just be a collaboration between the two DAOs and then, executed by the governance of both projects. And yeah, I think, as mentioned, basically any project that is willing to do this affiliate partnership deal is basically eligible, pending community approval for Fox incentives. So you can imagine, as a Sushi user, being able to use all the amazing Sushi features in a really nice open source, unstoppable interface with no added fees, but also earning some extra Fox when you trade, or having your gas costs on a trade reimbursed with Fox if you already hold Fox, or earning some extra Fox when you provide liquidity or when you borrow or lend on Kashi. All of those things are on the table for any project that's willing to offer these affiliate revenue opportunities. And we think this will be a really great way for protocols to stand out against competing protocols, because obviously as a user, we've seen you guys, I think Sushi helped demonstrate how savvy and how bottom line focused a lot of these DeFi users are. It's like if you can objectively provide more financial value to a user than another protocol, you can see over 50% of a protocol's TVL migrate to the protocol that's offering them a better deal, right? So we think this is powerful, and we think it's a great opportunity for protocols that want to differentiate themselves and stand out, and particularly attract what we hope will be a rapidly growing network of ShapeShift users to their protocol.
Yeah, incredible. I'm hearing capital efficiency there is kind of what I'm starting to pick out from there. So that's great. That's great stuff. I do want to touch on, I guess, like there's Adrian here who was going to come up. How would you describe it compared to something like Changely?
Yeah. So go ahead, Erik.
Yeah. So Changely's been around quite a long time at this point. Also, they, to the best of my knowledge, are operating on the prior model that ShapeShift had, essentially where you send in a transaction or you send in a coin, and they'll send you another one out of their hot wallet, and then they've integrated a bunch of exchanges in the background that they're trading on. So the major difference here is that still makes them an intermediary. That still means that they're going to be subservient to all the financial regulations, and it still means that they are charging a fee on those trades. So ShapeShift is not an intermediary and has no fee and no KYC. So Changely will selectively apply KYC, basically depending on what kind of transaction you do and some of the other risk factors. With ShapeShift, there's no conception of KYC, and we don't have to do it because we're not an intermediary.
Really good. Yeah, awesome. Yeah, that's kind of a no-brainer right there. But yeah, hopefully that answers there for you, Adrian. And yeah, I don't know if there's any other questions. Please bring them into the AMA text questions, or come on up, bring your hand, put your hand up, and we'll bring you up on stage.
I see a question from one of the community members around Sushi on Aave, and if that would be included in the fair drop. And I'm sorry to say, unfortunately, that was not one of the contracts that's included, as far as I know. As you guys can imagine, we had to draw the line somewhere, basically, because there were just, there's a almost infinite number of different contracts and different networks and stuff now that people can stake their tokens or provide liquidity to pools, and we didn't necessarily want to just try and get every single one, because as you can imagine, that could be a large task. So unfortunately, I don't think that if your Sushi was staked on Aave, that you will be eligible, of course. And yeah, I will say too, we did our best effort to try and reach out to other communities and get help from our community to make sure that we did include the top contracts. But yeah, I do apologize if anyone's in that contract and is not included. That said, it's all up to governance going forward. So I'll never say never.
Yeah. I mean, to try and capture everything, that's just going to be, you could be chasing it forever, it seems. But yeah, I think implementing the Sushi, just bringing that in and using the LP pools, that's a huge upgrade that's going to help. That people are going to be very, very pleased with. And we're starting to see some nice reactions there. So
actually, and as you say that, I don't want to rule it out. You should still check, because I guess if you were, we looked at the Sushi staking contract, right? So in order to get, as long as you're staked in that Sushi staking contract, then I think you will be eligible. But I'm not the engineer that actually compiled that list, so there are details there. Maybe if he's in the audience, McChadwick, you could raise your hand and give us a good answer there if you know. But yeah, I guess it would still be worth checking. But if you aren't eligible, again, I do apologize.
All right. Yeah, if anybody else has questions, please bring them into the AMA text questions, or raise your hand and we can get you up on stage. But we've covered a ton here today. I don't know if there's anything else that you guys want to discuss or touch on from ShapeShift team.
Yeah, I guess it's worth just pointing out, even if you didn't get the airdrop, there's still great opportunity for farming Fox, both in the Sushi Swap Polygon pool that we mentioned earlier, and also in our incentivized Uniswap pool that is Fox Rewards. It has like over 135% APR at the moment, even months into the program. So it's a pretty lucrative way to get some Fox if you're looking to get involved in the community. And the community also actually just voted to incentivize that program for an additional 4.5 months after the current program ends in October. So there's going to be pretty good Fox staking opportunities at least into early next year. And it wouldn't surprise me if the community wanted to do it a little bit past that even. So yeah, even if you didn't get the airdrop, great way to get involved is to just get staking a little bit and earn some great Fox that way.
Yeah, cool. Thank you for pointing that out. Yeah. If anybody else, like I say, last questions here, this might be a great place to wrap it up. Yeah.
I'll add something here, which is, we have just started down this path of decentralizing and being a DAO, and some of you guys have been doing this DAO thing for much longer and probably have a lot of good ideas, a lot of good feedback. So I just want to encourage any cross-pollination that is possible. Come on over to our Discord, give us any suggestions on us as a DAO, because we're learning and we're trying to figure out the best ways to do this stuff. So we'd welcome you, and we'll receive your feedback with humble appreciation. And I want to say thanks for inviting us to speak with you guys, and really appreciate all of you who are out on the very cutting edge of crypto finance. It's a wild place. It's not for everyone, but everyone who's out there, I think, is doing really cool, really fascinating work that's going to change how the entire financial system of the planet works. So good on you, and thank you for that.
Wag me. Yeah, we're all gonna make it. Let's do it. Okay, thank you guys for coming on. This has been great. Yeah, where to find you guys? You guys have dropped a bunch of links here in the AMA text questions, but just one final plug here: how to find you guys on the web, and any socials that you want to drop in here as well: Twitter, Telegram, Discord, all that. Go ahead. If you guys,
Also, we'll drop that in the channel there so people can follow.
all right, perfect. So yeah, in the channel there, we've got the Discord for ShapeShift, and then your website, of course, just shapeshift.com.
Yep, shapeshift.com, and someone just asked. I'll put a link for that in the AMA text chat. And then someone asked about what the eligibility requirement was on the high level for the airdrop originally. So I'm also posting a link for that you can read. That is a blog post that goes all into, Matt just posted it too, but that goes all into the info of why ShapeShift is decentralizing, and it goes into great detail about what the eligibility requirements were.
Right on. Okay, cool. And as always, if anybody that's been in the room for 15 minutes or more, you have been logged and will be eligible for a POAP. So you can head over to our Get POAP channel under the Sushi bar in the Discord server. And I'll have that. It's closed right now. It'll be open up in about half an hour, 20 minutes here once things synchronize on the back end. And then you can !claim your POAP. And you guys have got a POAP going on for this event as well, too, ShapeShift, hey?
Yes, that is right. We did create one for this. Tyler, or whoever did that, maybe you want to post that. Yeah, Tyler just posted the link there in the AMA text chat. So
Nice.
Feel free to get grab that and get the POAP we created for today. Thanks to our team for doing that.
Yeah, absolutely. That's thank you guys for doing that. And the POAP's been a cool community engager. So DAOs love it. Cool. And of course this has been recorded and will be up on YouTube shortly, and on the Sushi official channel. So you can go back and listen to all that. Listen to all those hot words that we were using here, such as human coordination, positive sum, bureaucracy, decentralization, all those nice words we were using. Check it out there. And follow me on Twitter, 0xtangle, for any of the updates on the AMAs and events coming up. And of course, we have the Sesh bot in Discord. So head to the calendar channel that's just underneath. Just at the top there underneath announcements. And you can set your reminders through SeshBot with the little alarm clock. All right. Thank you guys very much for coming on up. And keep doing it. You guys are doing a great job.
Keep down it.
Keep down. Keep down.
Really a pleasure.
If any Sushi community members are at the MCon conference in Denver right now, by the way, my DMs are open and would love to hang out, meet, and talk about how Sushi Swap and ShapeShift can collaborate.
Amazing. Thanks, guys. Have a great day.
Thank you all.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye, all.